Yeah, you look good as there. So I think like it's probably best if we have like a conversation.
Okay. The feet are shown. Shall I put the shoes or not?
It doesn't matter, honestly.
Doesn't matter.
Do you want a beer, by the way?
If we're gonna have this kind of conversation, let's go. Oh, I'd love. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cruz Camp. Okay. You get Heineken or Cruz Campo?
Hey, Cruz Camp. I don't know what that is, so I will take that one.
Okay.
It's whatever.
I think we are recording, so.
Okay. Yeah. So then we're recording some.
this shows both of us.
Okay.
But yeah. So I'm just gonna do a clap to synchronize it. All right. Hope it's recording. It's recording eternally.
Okay.
And yeah.
Do we know the sound? The sound should be fine, yeah? We don't need to check the sound.
It should be fine.
It should be okay.
If it's not, then we just wasted some time. I have some questions I'm going to read from my...
Yeah.
Salut. Llamas? Llamas. We are in Málaga for the second Festival de la Guitarra Ciudad de Málaga. I'm here representing Tino Andersen International Guitar Festival just to learn and have fun and talk to Filippos, see some concerts. But you're an artist.
That's right.
You got second in the competition last year, which was the first year, obviously.
Yes.
You won our competition, so you're also playing at our festival next year. And you have a bunch of other concerts coming up. Do you want to tell a little bit to the audience where you're going to play or stuff like this, or skip through it?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. I mean, I'm very glad to be busy. The next month. It's always nice to have a lot of stuff to do. Quite stressful, but it's beautiful. That's what we want always.
Yeah.
No, it's really what I really enjoy. I enjoy this stress so much of performing and of teaching and traveling a lot. So I will be traveling a lot in all around Europe during autumn. Before that, I will be in Asia, in Taiwan, in Japan for some concerts there, and also I will be doing the GFA competition in June.
Exciting.
Yes, actually, in 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah. Wow. You have your repertoire.
Yeah. I'm playing everything tomorrow.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. Exciting. I know who I'm rooting for. I'm not sure if I told you this any time, but I think even before you knew about our festival, I saw a video of you on Instagram and I sent it. It was like 10 seconds long, maybe. I think it was in San Roque. I just remember it was being something very high up the fretboard. And I sent it to my compañeros, how do you say, my people in the festival. And I said, this guy is going to be in the final, I'm sure. And you ended up being in the final both times, winning the second time. So you're doing very good. But I imagine it's tiring.
I appreciate it, man. I love it. It's not tiring.
Yeah.
It's tiring in one sense, but I just love it so much.
I just saw an interview with Yamadu Costa. It's in Spanish. I'm not sure if you saw it. I can't remember which podcast. Probably the Buscadores Flamencos or something like this. But you know Paquito de Rivera, the saxophonist.
I don't actually.
He's the best jazz saxophonist from Cuba. Amazing. And Yamadu was complaining like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so busy, I'm always traveling. It's like, yeah, but this is what you wanted, right? You have to, this is being a musician, right? This is what you wanted. But I wanted to talk a little bit about this as well, but we're gonna get into it further down the questions. So yeah, I mainly want to talk a little bit about practice, focus and competitions, and about being a young guitarist and student in 25, 26, 2026, yeah. So, yeah, first of all, for those who don't know you, do you want to have a quick introduction? Very quick?
I'll try. It's always very awkward to do this.
Yeah,
I will try,
Most of our current audience should know about you, but there might be some new people that don't yet know you.
So, I'm Filippos Manoloudis. I'm 25 years old. I come from Greece. I'm a classical guitarist. And since I was 18, I've been studying classical guitar in Germany. Then I did the Master Guitarra Alicante, and just now I finished my master studies in Geneva, in the Haute École de Musique de Genève. I studied with Tilman Hopstock in Germany, Master Guitarra Alicante with too many amazing professors to name, and with Judica Perois in Geneva. And I've been traveling and performing since I don't remember which year actually. It must be at least 5 to 6 years that
Yeah.
I've been doing this professionally.
Yeah.
And I've participated in a lot of competitions. I've done many different chamber music projects, and yeah, I'm on my way to. I'm trying to make my dream a reality, which is what Yamandu was complaining, to be so busy that you are suffering from this success of having too many concerts and too many things to do.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not at all being a classical guitarist. I tried, and I always said that the only reason or way you can be a classical guitarist is if you have to. You know, you understand what I mean?
No, absolutely, absolutely.
And luckily, I can't because of my back. So I kind of eventually managed to find peace that I cannot do it. So then there's no question anymore. But that's very. I'm not advising it for you because I need you to continue being an amazing classical guitarist. But it's hard. It's definitely hard. And I noticed, and I've read it in the interviews with you before as well. You contribute a lot of your success to your teachers, your inspirations, etc., which is very nice. You're a very humble guy and very kind. That's important. But obviously, some of the success is contributed to you as well. And I have a couple of questions about how you practice and stuff. Yeah, so I've both noticed from your playing, of course, and read in 6-string journal. I read that, it's really good. Well, it says a little bit about how you practice and what you focus on while practicing, etc. And you're very focused on having focus and concentration while practicing. So it's a two-part question. If you can talk a little bit about that, but also, do you do anything to get into the focus? Does it take a lot of work to get into the space of focusing in?
So I have to explain a little bit about what you read in the interview. To explain that first and foremost, it has always been a matter of trial and error to find exactly the practice that suits me and that is the most effective for me. So I've tried practicing a lot. I've tried practicing very little. I've tried manual practice. I've tried all of that to be able to do a mix of all and to understand what works for me the best. Okay. For sure, what I recommend and what I find the most important is to know when you're going to practice and what you're going to practice.
Okay.
This might sound the simplest thing, but trust me, we don't do this.
Yeah.
Most of the times I used to sit down on the guitar and just think about what I will practice now.
Yeah.
Usually if I write everything down and if I know exactly what I'm going to work at, and I will not mindlessly repeat some passages or just play through the pieces without much thinking, then this is where I actually improve. This is when I know that I'm gonna be a step further after this 1 hour of practice on this piece. It's so important to do that because otherwise you feel that you're stuck all of the time and you don't really know which points to always work on. Getting into the focus is very, very simple.
Okay.
It's just knowing exactly what you have to practice and leaving your phone away. Really, these two things.
Believing in the process.
Exactly.
It's also feeling the results as a classical guitarist is extremely slow. Like you don't really feel that you advance in real time, at least. Also, like you talked a little bit about it, but do you specifically set like these 10 minutes I'm going to practice this, or like that concrete, or is it more like today I'm practicing this? Or also your practice sessions finish when you finished what you were supposed to do, or when you achieved what you were trying to achieve?
Yes.
Or a mix?
So I'm not extremely detailed into like 10 minutes doing this passage or not. I just say usually, okay, this 1 hour or this 45 minutes I will work on that piece. And usually I get everything on time, but sometimes I might have to, of course, adjust,
Yeah.
Something doesn't really work, or if I'm not where I thought I would be with my practice session, I just adjust it and I practice something a bit more, and then the next day I will practice the other piece. I mean, you have to adjust all the time. But yes, actually, results is the most important for me. It's not about the hours that I will practice, but more like what I will achieve. So this goes both ways. I might need to practice more, or I might need to practice less. If I finish what I need to do, I will not go over practicing,
Yeah, because I read you try to practice about 3 hours a day, which sounds not so much for I'm not. Yeah, I mean, for a 50-year-old professional guitarist who's been professional for 30 years, you expect 1, 2, 3 hours maybe. You know, they have other stuff to do as well. But is that to not tire yourself out too much mentally and physically, or you don't have more time?
No, I do have more time, but I prefer to not over practice early. It really depends on the amount of repertoire that I have to prepare on which projects I might have. Yeah, sometimes you just have to play more than 2 hours of repertoire with chamber music, with solo repertoire. Maybe something is very difficult. Maybe you have to learn something extremely fast. So there you have to put a bit more practice. But generally, yes, I really don't like practicing more than three good hours. 3 very, very focused hours. And usually I get the work done in that, especially if it's the repertoire that I really know, and I just have to prepare for the concert. For example, for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everything should go well because I have done so much work in so many years. So I really shouldn't...
I mean, you're not going to become a better guitarist today.
That's it. I mean, of course, there are always some details to fix and some stuff to have in mind, but it should be there, and I should not overstress myself. Then the performance will be worse because I would overstress and overpractice. Yeah. You know.
Tino always used to tell me before a concert, it's like, it's either gonna go great or fantastic, you know.
That's it.
And it's like, how do you feel about the concert or the repertoire today? I'm like, with a little bit of luck, it's gonna be good, you know. And he's like, but remember, the better prepared you are, the bigger the chance for good luck, you know. Which is true because there's always something happening, and you will fuck up at some point. There's no doubt about it.
It's all part of the game.
How do you deal with it? How do you know that a piece is ready and like comfortable enough to perform, to bring to the scene?
So it depends on the piece first and foremost, but I feel generally comfortable with the piece after a year of performing it. So not just learning it, not just practicing it, but performing so many times on stage that I really know that if something goes wrong, both musically and technically, I know how to handle it. And I know that this will not ruin my concentration or the whole performance. So this is how I generally feel that something is ready, where I am convinced by what I do in the music, first and foremost, where I know that there are no weak points, not something that I would really risk, you know, technically. And when I know that I can control the piece itself and the whole performance, no matter what happens. Usually this takes, of course, depending on the piece, around 1 year of performing it.
It's interesting, because I think most people, because we're mainly talking about 15, 20, 22-year-old students, I think, or 30, 40, 50-year-olds who never had the privilege to study professionally, kind of, and, you know, who's up and coming and trying to develop, right? And I think most people expect the pieces to be ready when you start performing, and kind of, you know. So this is a little bit like stand-up. You go on stage and you practice the bit or the joke, and you develop it on stage. I also remember this, like most really good ideas in interpretation comes on stage. And if you record it, as you are a big co-owner of, it's like, then you can remember what you actually did as well. What was this amazing idea I had?
No, that's correct. Of course, when you go to play it on stage, you know it will be on performance levels. But feeling comfortable with the piece, it's a different story completely.
So this is when you bring it to competitions and stuff? After a year,
again, it depends. Sometimes it's also good to have some sort of risk. Sometimes it's fine to have that also, because it keeps you motivated. If you play in a competition, for example, a repertoire that it's really known and really comfortable to you, you might feel overconfident or start to know the pieces overly well and overlook some small details that will bring you that magical 5%, you know, that you need to actually be great and to actually win.
Sometimes also there's an obligatory piece that you maybe didn't perform for a year. I also read that you in that 6-string journal interview, it said you have relative perfect pitch. I'm not sure in the interpretation of relative, is it perfect pitch or not?
So I wasn't sure about the term either.
Okay.
I have to say. So I searched it actually up.
Yeah.
So it means that I actually listen to the names of the notes when I play.
Yeah.
That comes from every instrument: violin, cello, guitar. It's no problem. I listen to the names.
But did you learn it or did you have it?
No, I had it since forever. I remember exactly when I discovered that.
Yeah.
For many years, I thought that this is how everybody listens to music. You know?
Of course.
But I was. It was basically my second lesson of guitar.
Yeah.
Where I was so irritated that I had to look at the scores and not at my hands.
Yeah.
And I was doing mistakes just because I was looking at the scores. So, okay, I will learn everything by heart. So I will just look at my hands. So I learned the note names by heart.
Yeah.
And this is how I learned every piece from that point on. So I can recite all my repertoire just by reciting the notes, much like doing a solfège, basically.
And this sticks, even after performing on stage a piece for a year, you still remember it.
No, you don't try that.
Yeah.
You know, it just happens. That's how I memorize pieces, and that's how I just remember everything. You know?
Interesting. So I remember always when learning pieces, I had kind of the same ability. Like I knew the score perfectly while learning it, but after performing it for a while, then you completely basically forget it. You don't. It is just this thing basically that is what it is. And you can manipulate it, but you cannot like bring it back to the score basically.
But again, I have to say that this is not a strategy that I recommend to somebody.
Yeah. You didn't develop it on purpose.
No, not at all. And I don't think it will work for everybody. It will work only to the people who listen to music in that way.
Yeah.
I'm pretty convinced by that, and because I've tried to teach that before, and it was just a mess for the people who weren't listening to the names of the notes. So I'm very careful when I say how I memorize pieces. So this works only for me.
Yeah.
The only thing I can recommend when it comes to memorization is to do mental practice, which is to think of the piece in the way that it's the most suitable for you. It can be harmony, it can be your hands. Or just a melody, but just humming the melody. But at the same time, really thinking of both your right and your left hand. If you can remember exactly what both your hands do, you should be able to memorize this very good. And to be mental practicing it also.
It's also good, you said something about it in that interview as well, but my interpretation of it, but it's always good to, if there's some doubt in fingerings and stuff, you make a fingering that has to, like, you have some reason for this is the only way because of this and that, like you find reasonings for, well, because the fourth finger blah blah blah, or sometimes because it's just the most fun, but it's like, this is the reason I do it like this, then you cannot forget it basically also. I find it myself at least.
And always there are musical reasons behind. Really, I try to put this first. The way I think about fingerings is what do I want to achieve with this passage? How do I want this to sound? And then I will find a way to do this.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's never that the technique serves the sound, you know? It's my idea should be served by the technique. I'm just saying the same thing with different words, but it really makes a difference on how you start that.
It's kind of a perfect transition into the next question, because this is more of interpretation, but because what you're saying, sometimes it doesn't work, unfortunately. Like you have the idea, but it doesn't work. So you have to, like, plan A doesn't work. You have to go to plan B. And you always get criticized for this, like how you should have done it. Well, it's actually impossible. But thank you for discovering my other perfect way of doing it. But so the question is, how do you know that a piece is right for you? And do you have any examples of a piece you love but don't play, and opposite? Because sometimes the idea is perfect, but it just doesn't work.
Yes, that's a good question, actually, very good question.
It's Trevor's. Shout out to Trevor.
That's Trevor.
Yeah.
First. I really have to think about a piece. So I can say on that on how I choose my repertoire first and foremost, and because usually these are the pieces that I play the best, the ones that I really chose because I feel any sort of connection in that time that I chose them. So if I chose a piece some years ago, that doesn't mean that I really want to perform it right now, you know?
Yeah, of course.
I change opinions and I listen to music differently the more I grow up. First and foremost, I have to have some sort of emotional connection with the piece, or at least I would like to explore this music. Then comes the second part, which is what I think I play the best, but I don't try to always choose what I play the best. I try to choose what I would like to perform, to learn how I would like to be better. And music that I genuinely believe is great music.
Yeah.
It can be any style. It can be it can be even not classical, but I think the piece is great, and maybe I can do a nice transcription of it, and then it will be great for the audience as well. And this is saying that, having said that, this is when I found that the pieces that I believe do the most are the most successful in my concerts.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Because I sell them, so to
Yeah.
say, to the audience. I really
yeah.
show how much I love them and why I believe they should be listened to.
Yeah.
You know? So, of course, sometimes this doesn't work. Of course, maybe a piece that I can give an example is I'm not so happy with how I played this. Is the second sonata by Eduardo Lopez Chavarri, which I played in the semi-final of Norway. So I think in the semi-final it went well and there was no problem, but I was never so convinced by how I played this, even though I love the piece. Maybe because it was very difficult for me to compromise. As you said, that sometimes you have to go to plan B. But this is really difficult. It's really difficult to accept that you have to go to plan B, and this will eventually help the music. You know, it might not be your first idea, but eventually the whole piece will breathe better, maybe. Or will just be one simple moment that doesn't really matter the big picture. But it's so difficult to accept that. And sometimes you have to compromise in a way that might not really sound to the audience, but you really know that you compromise, if it makes sense. And it's really difficult. So with that piece, for example, that sonata, I believe that it should be edited. It should be changed a little bit to be played, because it was written by a non-guitarist, and it wasn't edited by great masters like Segovia, for example. So I think there is some work to be done, and I already changed some notes, trying, of course, to preserve the idea, but I think I could have done something better, but it was very difficult to compromise, you know? So,
but you're gonna get shit anyways what you're doing. People are gonna say, you know the joke, how many guitarists does it take to change an a light bulb?
I mean, I don't know.
It's 100. It's 1 to do the job and 99 to tell how they would do it better, you know?
There you go.
And I don't know, if you can accept that, then compromise is... anything is a compromise anyways, you know?
Yeah. The most important thing is to convince myself, first and foremost. That's really the most important. Usually then, I will be, again, very open to listening from other people, but I will be fine with performing. You know, that's the most important thing for me. And this piece, for example, I've been performing it for 2 years at least. I'm still not so comfortable. I'm still not so happy. Every time I have to practice it a little bit more than the other pieces. Maybe I should change something, you know? So it's a never-ending process of questioning and recalibrating, basically, all your decisions and where you are with the piece. It's never-ending, really.
No. I think this is very interesting for people watching to get the insight of how your mind works as well, and see that guitarists at your level also have the same kinds of struggles. So it's important questions and themes to be aware of and accept. I don't know, not be afraid of. Regarding the plan A, plan B thing, unfortunately I can't remember who taught me this. I think one of the teachers in Alicante when I studied there in 2015. But it's like you practice the plan A, kind of. You practice the fingerings, like this is how I would play it if I didn't also have to play all the basses and stuff, which I cannot play these fingerings with the basses as well. But if I only play the melody, I would do it like this, and then you just, you know, I would do a glissat there and blah 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 blah, and then you go back and you play the plan B, and it sounds better. Of course, you might fuck up some fingerings when you perform, and you figure, but you know, that's a part of the practice.
I have to say on that, another important point is when doing transcriptions, to be able to compromise in the same sense that I was talking about the sonata by Eduardo Lopez Chavarri. It's always difficult to go to plan B, especially when you are able to choose, so to say, what would suit the guitar best, what would suit that piece on the guitar, best. Maybe. So when you find a way to express a line or a phrase that you really believe it sounds fantastic, but it works so few of the times, that's where you need to compromise, because this will eventually help the music way more. And when doing transcriptions, it's really difficult to take a note out
Yeah, of course.
that might change everything. But in your head, the sound result is so different that you don't want to do it. It's a little bit like losing a kid, you know. Literally, no, not so much, of course, but of course. But it's like an idea that couldn't be achieved, and it's really difficult to compromise in this sense.
Yeah.
But many times it's especially needed for the music, first and foremost for the music.
I think, not to disagree with you at all, but I feel like Zoran Dukic is maybe the best example and idol for this. It's like, it seems like when there's something that you cannot follow plan A, basically, it's like impossible. There's some fingerings or some notes or whatever. He seems to always find a solution that's just, it works better, or he's like selling it so convincingly, like you don't even notice this was how it was always supposed to be, you know. So I'm not sure if he feels, if he just accepts it and does the best he can with it, and therefore it's no longer a compromise or whatever. But it's some of the really best artists are great at especially the compromises.
No, this is the point, actually.
Yeah.
So when you compromise, you shouldn't sound like a compromise.
Yeah,
you should convince yourself that, okay, still this sounds great, and still I can express this. And maybe there are ways to compensate also from not doing the plan A, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, these are such minor details, but in our head it's always so important.
One of multiple things driving us crazy, yeah? Okay, let's jump a little bit to competitions. Sure. So obviously you have been playing a lot of competitions. Yeah. And the big question is why? It might sound a little aggressive, but what you get out of it, does it help you focus and develop as a musician, etc.? Or is it more as a direct necessity for your future career? How do you look at it in general?
Yeah. So this answer has changed a lot throughout the years. I have to say, because I've been doing competition since I was 10 years old.
Oof.
Okay, and there hasn't been a single year, I believe, that I haven't done at least one competition.
Okay.
So this has to stop at some point, of course, yes. But this has changed a lot over the years. First, it was very important to just prepare for it. And as a kid, I have to say I was quite competitive also.
Mm-hmm. In sports and cards.
Yes, everything basically. Yeah. So this was how it started, I believe. I enjoyed playing on stage always. I enjoyed also winning, and this stopped very quickly though. This stopped, I think in 3-4 years, I really didn't care about that. I was caring way more of just playing good music. And I started choosing the competitions that I can do based on the repertoire that I was learning already. So this is a very important point. So I never chose the repertoire based on the competitions, but I chose the competitions based on the repertoire that I already had. Yeah. So the most important thing for me was like, okay, I want to learn these pieces, and since I have this repertoire, what can I do with it? Yeah. Where can I play? Can I do some competitions? If yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. So very quickly this changed, as I said, and then the necessity of performing arose, and performing not in competitions, but performing for actual audiences.
Yeah.
And the way that was the most effective for me back then was to play in competitions, because I was good at it, basically.
Yeah.
And it just happened to work. So I thought that it would be a great way to get some concerts and to get people to know me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course, there is a danger that the people will perceive you as just a competition winner, as just a competition winner.
Look at this guy.
But I strongly believe that if people really come to the concert that I might have won because of the competition, they will understand what I'm trying to do with my playing. So this is what the most important value of an artist is, you know, showcasing the artistry on stage or in a concert setting. Yeah. I remember talking with an organizer of a competition and of a concert later, and he told me after one concert that I did in Germany that I don't care that you won the competition. It is nothing compared to what you did here. Giving a great concert is why I will invite you again. Yeah. You know, I really don't care that you won my competition. Yeah. The most important thing was what you do after that with the prize and with the concerts that you get. So that's it. Basically, I continue still doing competitions only for this reason now, to be able to perform more. And again, I have the same values when it comes to which competitions I will do and with which repertoire. I think it happens also that my playing matches some competitions. So I'm glad that I don't need to adjust my playing for that. Really, I'm trying to play as honestly as possible, to play exactly what I would play in a normal concert setting. And if the jury in this case happens to like it, then it's perfect.
Yeah.
So
that was kind of my improvised follow-up question, because in my personal opinion, we had a problem with this in at least our second year, which you won. Not that you were the winner, but I personally wasn't perfectly satisfied with who ended up being the finalists. Not saying they were all fantastic players, but in my opinion, there was also some that could have been in the final as well. And I asked the judges afterwards, like, what happened? And they said, there wasn't much of a discussion. I was like, they should have been. What do you mean? And of course, people have different tastes and they look for different things. And as you say, like, you try not to edit yourself when it comes to how I perform and stuff. And I think this has been one of the thoughts about competitions for a long time, that, as you say, it doesn't necessarily bring up fantastic artists, but very good competitors. So my next question actually was, so competitions are often a controversial topic. Do you have any thoughts of what we could do in general to make them better or more humane, more natural, like more focused on the music and the artistry and not so much the playing flawlessly? And
good.
do you feel
the
presence of this?
I have to think a little bit of that. Although I have thought a lot about that,
yeah,
actually.
exactly, yeah.
Yes, it's been in my mind for quite some time. I mean, it really depends also on the prize that you're giving in the competition. I'm going to explain why I say that. So, in the case of the Tino Andersen Guitar Festival, it's really amazing that apart from the prize money, there are some concerts that are given.
Yeah.
And this is what we look for as artists, as I said, to perform more. So when you're looking for a concert artist to tour in Norway, for example, you want to know that they can support a whole concert program, which makes sense throughout, and they can be not entertaining for the audience, but interesting as musicians. So they have something to propose, basically, in the concerts. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to play 1 hour of music and to be able to grasp the attention of the audience for this whole hour. I would really love, I know this is not possible, but I would really love to have a final of a competition where you have to perform a full concert. Even maybe presenting the pieces if they ask you to, of course, it's not necessary. But I would like to have it as a concert setting, having 3 or 4 finalists that each plays a concert for 45 minutes, maybe 1 hour. There can be some easier pieces. There is no problem with that. There is no problem as long as it's beautiful music and as long as they support it really well. There is really no problem. The best artists in the world alternate in their concert programs easier and more difficult pieces, of course. And it's also important in a concert of 1.5 hours or 1 hour to not have pieces that require your 100% attention all the time. You need to also enjoy.
Also the audience's attention,
exactly,
right? So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So
I actually thought about exactly this too, because the World Cup is coming up, and I was like, they sell a lot of tickets, and they go around to different cities and bring people to the stadium. So I was like, should we do that for the next? I don't think we can do it for this one, but for the next one, I was thinking about the final being like 1 month after the semis, and it's the 4 finalists doing a concert tour where they all play. You know, so the price is also the concert tour itself, and then it's also the price itself is the product, and the product is the price. And I don't know. It seems more.
It requires some organizing, a lot. The other problem is that probably it will not be as attractive to the competitors as having in total of 1 hour repertoire, because you have to prepare way more. Because to arrive to the final, probably you will need maybe 1 hour more of repertoire, 40 minutes more of repertoire. So in the end, you have to perform a lot of music.
But then again, you should always have an hour repertoire, right?
No, even more. I agree. You should always have at least two programs, of course. Again, it will be more difficult to bring comedians. I completely understand this, but it would make a lot of sense for me. In the biggest piano competitions, I think is the same. They have to
but they have
recitals.
15 hours of repertoire.
They do. Yes. I'm not saying that we will have to do exactly the same, but I think it will be quite interesting to see. I mean, it will be maybe easier to see which artist will support a concert tour, for example. That's the most important, I think, for me.
Yeah.
Many times you see competition winners, and you go to the concerts, and you're not so touched.
Yeah.
It's a different thing being impressed. It's a different thing being touched. Yeah. All of these are aspects of the music. But you kind of have to have everything to be a complete artist.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Sorry to do this to you, but you know what's coming now?
No, I don't know.
This is coming from the only guitarist ever to make my mother cry. I told you this. She told me at the last festival, like, I will have that. Yeah. And she's seen every guitarist out there live. And I think this is a big difference in general in competitions. And one of the bigger flaws in the classical guitar world, that we perform mostly for each other, not so much for the audience, which we should try to focus more on the audience. Not only the audience, of course.
I strongly believe you can find a program that will satisfy different kinds of people while it's still honest from you.
Definitely.
You can always find this compromise of music that is easy to listen to, or it's interesting to listen to, and that it has some musical value for yourself as well. I strongly believe that there is always repertoire for this, and you can always convince people with that.
Yeah. No, I think it comes back to what you said in the beginning. If it's interesting to you, it will be interesting.
Yeah.
So obviously you know a lot of high-level young guitarists.
Absolutely.
Are there ever any talk about students that can't participate in competitions and stuff because of economic funds? Is this something you heard this and
absolutely, absolutely, yes. Absolutely. So the big problem when it comes to participating in a competition is that you have to travel there.
Yeah,
of course. And of course, most of the times pay the hotel and maybe a participation fee. Okay, so this is a big investment. It really is an investment. Yeah. For example, now I will fly to the US to participate in a competition. I really have to pay a lot of money, and if I didn't believe that I might have chances to grade there, I wouldn't do this investment. It's really like this. So this is a very big problem, of course, and many people don't participate because of that, or they really choose wisely where they will participate.
Yeah.
We always appreciate I'm not saying that because of the Tino Andersen festival, really, but we genuinely appreciate that, and it was absolutely amazing that this happened in Norway, in the Tino Andersen Guitar Festival, that we had accommodation, we had, of course, the boat trip was very fun, but it was not the only thing, it was the most important thing is also the practical, that we were all together, we enjoyed it all together, everybody was a winner, 40 people, I think, invited.
Yeah.
And it was just fantastic that you gave us this opportunity, because trust me, not many organizers do that.
But still, you had to pay to come there. Like you had to pay some of your the trip to get there and stuff. So I actually see the Alhambra. It's called Alhambra. I always forget the name. The big competition. It's in Valencia now. I'm not sure if you know the Science Fair Center. I don't know the name, but fantastic venue, everything. And I see they pay the hotel as well. The trip, if I'm not, at least the hotel for every participant as well. So that's really, really cool.
This is fantastic.
And this is also one of our goals, to try to, in general, I'm not sure if we had anything to do with this, but to like, can we start paying people what they deserve to go to festivals and play concerts and everything? But we're gonna try to do something.
I'm sure you guys are doing incredibly well just for 2 editions. It's becoming incredibly big, and it's something so attractive for all the competitors out there. And trust me, with every edition, more and more people talk about that.
It's very slow. It's slow and steady. It's what you have to do. What do you think is missing in the guitar world now? And what can individuals, guitarists, institutions, festival directors, etc., do to make the guitar world better? Do you have any? It's a big question. What?
Oof. Yes, so it depends. I have to answer in two parts, actually. So what we're trying to do when we organize guitar festivals, I believe, is to promote the classical guitar. That's right. Or every kind of guitar. I think now in Málaga they promote the popular guitar, the flamenco, and the classical. So it's all one instrument, you know, there's different aspects of it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So the way we're trying to do is wonderful with the classical guitar festivals, but many times we tend, as you say, to play for each other, to play for guitarists. It's a very important aspect of it, especially when it comes to attending master classes and lecture. Of course, it's the most important. But then in the concerts, it's very important to bring people that are non-guitarists, maybe non-musicians, and they fall in love with the classical guitar. I think that should be the point of the guitar festivals. I think Tino Andersen Festival is doing fantastic in this. But I have been to many festivals where they had like 30 people in the audience, which was a bit of a pity because the concerts were some of the best you can find. The artists were some of the best you can find around. So it's really important, I think, to manage to build communities wherever the festivals take place. That's the first thing, I believe. Secondly, maybe the other thing that I would like to answer is that we have to find a way to explain, maybe this comes again through the organizing of classical guitar concerts, but we have to find a way to make the music world a little bit come to the classical guitar. We're trying a lot to push the classical guitar in the music world, and we're trying to do stuff which we're not meant to do. Not just playing for thousands of people, not just that, but also playing repertoire that is more famous and more known in the classical music world, because we believe that this is how maybe we will attract people. Or we're trying to do something sometimes, not always, that the instrument isn't really. So it's very important, I think, to somehow promote the classical guitar the way it is. And then I think it will become a very interesting instrument in the music world. You know, it's already becoming much better in the last years. There are many labels singing fantastic guitarists. There are many great concert halls who have guitar series. For example, the Cultura Artística in São Paulo, the Concertgebouw in Amsterdam. They have classical guitar series with 5-6 concerts per year. They invite amazing artists. And the most important thing is just really showcase our instrument as it is, with its good and bads, you know, with its weaknesses, but there are so many things to compensate for these weaknesses, you know. It's so beautiful. We're trying to build the loudest guitars. We're playing to play the most difficult repertoire possible. Of course, I've done this too. I play some piano works, for example, that might be considered not impossible, but extremely hard. But I always believe there is a reason to play that, you know.
I mean, the only thing I'm hearing is please stop playing Asturias.
No, not at all. Not at all. Actually, not at all. I love Asturias.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
And for everyone in the comments, if you have some good ideas or examples of what we could actually do to achieve what he's saying, that would be, please share them. Like we talked about just before we pushed record, it happened to me again quite recently, and it has happened before. Like you're trying to go to a guitar concert, and you cannot actually even find the entrance because it's so like you have to be in the thing to know. Like you should know. So, it's difficult. Like we need to make it more accessible without compromising. We can do both. We can do both. Great answer. Do you have any big or concrete goals, or are you just working hard to create big opportunities and taking them as they come?
I believe it's more the latter, to be honest. And why is it? Because I have understood that this is what fulfills me the most, to actually be able to live by playing music, and most importantly by choosing what I play. This is really not easy to achieve. I've realized this. It's really difficult to become an artist that people will come to listen to you and to what you have to offer, not just to a classical guitar concert, but more like I'm going to listen to Filippos. It's a really difficult thing to achieve, and but it sounds amazing because then I can explore all the different music styles and repertoire that I would like to explore, and I would love to play more chamber music in this sense. And it's a never-ending process of feeling motivated with music, first and foremost, and be able to live with that. One of the most important things for me is to be curious about music, to be curious about what I can learn, what I can do through the medium of a guitar. What music I can play. So being able to live from that is something fantastic, and then all the projects will come. Then the champion music will come. Then the arrangements will come. Maybe working with composers, maybe recording an album. All of that is part of the process. But really wanting to do that, being motivated and being curious about that is the most important thing for me. So I'm working towards that. Not remain motivated. I know I will be motivated. I know because I love it so much.
Fantastic.
But being able to really live from that is the most important thing for me right now. I'm working towards that.
Fantastic. So you're doing already what you're...
I'm hoping. I'm hoping. That's why I said at the start of the interview, I'm so happy to be busy.
Yeah. Even though... Okay, so you just turned 25, right? A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. That's right.
Are you already feeling the age coming to you? Or
absolutely. You can't believe it.
I do believe it.
I have a quarter life crisis,
I see. But you're Greek, so it makes sense.
That's it.
Do you feel any pressure to be one of the drivers of the classical guitar? Or are you just doing what you're doing, having fun in the process? Do you feel any pressure, like I also have to do this for the other people and I'm not just doing this for myself? No,
I wouldn't say so. Again, it comes from just loving music way too much. I'm so happy and I'm feeling so privileged to be doing that. That I'm glad and I feel everything that comes my way is very welcome. And this life is something that I always dreamed about, and I'm enjoying it so much. So there's no pressure there, I think, in this sense. The only pressure I feel is to perform good, not for me, not for the audience, but usually for the music itself. When I really believe that something is great, it's a pity when I don't perform it good, and I really want to do my best. That's why I will always try to strive for something better. But not so much. I enjoy it so much.
I think in 15 years when people will watch this, people will watch it before also, but when they look, they will be like, wow, I can't believe he was thinking like this then. To young aspiring players, you gave the advice of recording themselves and said it's very efficient and will save them a lot of time and stress, which is great advice. It's really true. Do you have any advice for the same group but outside practicing, like networking, building a career? It's not really playing the guitar, but just how to create a career.
I see. So it's something that I'm still learning myself, I have to say, because it's a very important topic, actually, what you're mentioning, that we're too focused on practicing, usually.
Also, it's so hard. We can practice 12 hours a day, we can practice nothing.
It's never ending, exactly. But we forget that people need to get to know us. So, as I said before, I was very fortunate that for me, at least competitions worked most of the time. So I got people to know me through the concerts that I got after the competitions and through the audience that I built. But there are so many ways to do that, and we should, I think, especially in 2026, we should definitely get to know at least most of them, especially promoting ourselves. It's always so awkward to do. It's really awkward. It's so important, though. It's essential. Sometimes we have to understand that it might be even more important than practicing in some cases, especially when you need to plan your year, for example. It's so important to take some weeks off of writing emails, reaching out to people, of posting social media, of building your next season, and realizing that sharing the music is as important as practicing it.
Yeah.
Really. I strongly believe that because you need to share with the audience, and people need to get. I mean, you need to arrive to that step somehow.
Yeah.
You know, you need to arrive to the step of the concerts. Usually, we know what to do when we arrive to that step, but the problem is
how do you
get there?
Well, especially now with ChatGPT and everything, like you can actually sit down at a cafe or whatever with 4 of your friends and
you
just
can do
like,
so much.
Let's spend 2 hours just like blasting out stuff in ChatGPT and just find me emails to this and this. And
exactly.
Just blah, blah, blah. I mean,
so for me, it was a game changer when I understood that it's not a bad thing to reach out to people.
No.
You know, and when I did that, it was quite successful because I did it in the right moments. When for example, I was maybe in Brazil for a concert, so I thought, okay, I will reach out to organizers to Brazil. Maybe I can organize a second or a third concert there.
Yeah.
You know, or I was in Costa Rica for a concert, so I was like, okay, maybe I can ask that organizer if he has some other people in Costa Rica. And he said, I don't have people in Costa Rica, but I have people in Mexico, for example.
Yeah.
And I booked 3 concerts in Mexico by reaching out to people. You know,
fantastic.
so this was really something that made me wake up, so to say.
Yeah.
You know, that this is how it works, and it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Really, it's quite normal actually.
Yeah, I mean, we should also get better at claiming the price that we're actually worth while performing, because it's not only a day or 2 of traveling then playing. It's all the practicing, but it's also paying for your food and your vacation and your week of being sick, whatever. So yeah, it's but it's hard. Yeah, great advice. You're available for online teaching, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And you're also sponsored by Guitarra.
That's right.
Any other plugs or sponsors, or you want to?
I don't know if I can call him a sponsor, but I have to say that I've been playing with instruments by Guitarist guitars since I was a child, since I was 13 years old, I believe, or 12. I have owned 6 instruments by him. He's a really good friend, and that's why I don't want to call him a sponsor. But I mean, it's not collaboration sponsor, but it's just
he makes fantastic guitars.
He makes fantastic guitars, and that's it. What can I say? And he has made several instruments for me. One of them is a fantastic spruce top that I'm looking forward to performing more in the near future. And I've been playing in his 2017 a double top since 2017. And now I also own a 7-string guitar, which he custom made for me. Yeah. So this is for future projects. As I said, I'm just curious about what I can do with this 7-string guitar. Yeah, he's a fantastic luthier from my hometown. His name is Filippos. He has helped me so much throughout my career, and I just cannot thank him enough. Same goes, of course, to Guitarra, as you said, exactly. Since 2023, we've been having a collaboration, and they helped me a lot in the things that I'm not good at, which is promoting myself. You know, they really helped me a lot by sponsoring some recordings, especially with Omni Foundation, with Guitarra Internacional, and now I have 3 more new videos coming up. I played around 30 minutes of music by Fernando Sor on a 1831 original Georg Anton Stauffer guitar, and the video turned out to be fantastic. Yes, original. Yes, kindly lent by the Haute École de Musique de Geneva, the University of Music, and absolutely fantastic recorded by Music im Blick by Emily Vent.
Yeah,
super amazing. Yeah,
and this will be out soon.
Very soon. Yeah. I hopefully in the next month I will have them.
So get me your tour dates and the Luthier's link and all this stuff, and we'll put it in the description and stuff. And thank you so much.
Really my pleasure. And, always a pleasure.
Unfortunately, I will not be able to see you tomorrow because we need to go back and cat sit. We have 3 cats to cat sit.
You've shared me enough, I think.
No, never enough. And but we'll see you in Bergen in 27.
Absolutely.
At least.
Absolutely.
I'm looking so much forward to it. If I not see you before in London or something like this, might happen. I don't know. And thank you so much, Tatnus Holding, for sponsoring and making this possible. And thanks everyone for watching. And yeah, see you soon, I guess.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yeah.